The main lessons from Storm Arwen really were about how we communicate with our customers, however they want to get hold of us, whether that's by the phone or the website. We've greatly increased our capacity there so that those systems can deal with higher volumes of activity. And secondly, I'd say it's about how we help customers in their hour of need, really. So if we do lose our supplies into an area, how we help them with their welfare, and both getting temporary power back on in the way that we've rated our generator capacity, temporary generation. And secondly, in terms of the work we've done with community hubs and how we're investing in community resilience. We've been investing in our systems, be that on our communication systems for our website. So we've been surge testing the capacity, of increasing the capacity, and then testing it to check that when a lot of people want to get in touch with us at the same time, they can get information from the website about how long their power's going to be off. And secondly, on the communications, we've been uprating both our telephone systems for automated response, but also getting more people so they can answer those calls. So we've been going up from about 100 call takers up to a capacity of about 450 now at peak to do that. And lastly, I'd say is that we've been investing with our local charity partners to see how we can get support for people who are either suffering from fuel poverty with expensive bills, or indeed how we can help with community energy resilience. So we're investing in local projects with our customers to make sure that they've got more resilience in the events of power cuts in the future.
Customers should notice the difference in a major event in a number of different areas. So firstly, in terms of increased accessibility, so we have more people trained to answer calls. So when we went into Storm Arwen, we had around 100 people who were available to answer calls at the peak. In the future, we'll have up to 450 people available to answer calls and also make outbound contact with customers and support those most vulnerable. We also have increased accessibility across our IT systems. So we've invested in a new telephony system and also in a new website and power cut log and map. Now, what that does is mean that the services are always accessible. So customers can get through to us at any point in time, both in terms of having people available and also having the systems available to support that. Aside from that, we've also taken a look at our welfare provision, so how we support customers in the event of a storm out on site. And one of the things we've put in place is some services with the National Caterers Association, where we're able to en masse provide catering facilities to customers who are impacted in the event of a storm. And finally, just looking at the communication side of things. So, we've adapted our approach to communications. Customers were very clear with us, they wanted us to be realistic in terms of what we're communicating, in terms of when power will be restored. So we've taken a look at that and, to really improve what we're going out with customers, making sure that what we're communicating is realistic and that we're providing them with the latest information on a regular basis, which is both available through our website and also available through our contacts and our team as well. If another big storm hits this year, I'm confident that the changes we've made will work. We've tested accessibility to all of our systems during an extensive business continuity exercise to make sure that we could deploy the resource that's needed. And aside from that, we've tested our IT systems to make sure that they can cope with the demand we've seen at Storm Arwen and well beyond that as well.
It's important to recognise that our operational response was actually really strong. In fact, that was recognised as such in the Ofgem and the BEIS inquiries that were published earlier this year. And I also think it's important to recognise that my frontline team, who were absolutely fantastic throughout the storm season last year, and specifically in Storm Arwen, they are part of the communities that were affected by the storm. And in fact, many of them were either personally affected by Storm Arwen or had friends and family that had been affected, whether that was property damage or a power cut. And the reason that I mention that is because that is where their dedication comes from. They are part of the communities that we serve. That all said, though, there are some changes that we've made to our operational response, including how we prioritise faults, how we deploy our teams, and how we gather information from site. And I think that last piece is probably the most important thing that we can do from a field operations point of view, is to make sure that we've got a really strong process that allows us to gather information from the field, that allows us to make more timely and realistic information available to our customers. So we need to be able to get that information, get it into our contact center, get it into our website, so that our customers have really useful information that will allow them to make informed decisions in the middle of a big storm. The additional generators we have available to us are a really valuable tool in the box for getting customers' lights back on. The additional capacity of more generators in our fleet, along with a dedicated team that will do nothing else but deploy generators and keep them running until we can make a permanent repair, will really shorten the duration for some customers, but it will also allow us to prioritize those customers in most need, especially those who are medically dependent on electrical equipment.
So in terms of improvements with communicating with customers, we've listened to customer feedback, which was very clear throughout the storm season, through 2021 and 2022, that we should be realistic in terms of the communications we provide and only provide a restoration time where we have confidence in the time that we're providing. Now, we have taken a look at our communication strategy to adapt it in that way and only manage customer expectations throughout an incident or throughout a major incident, so that we are being realistic with the times we're providing, and also only providing a time once we're clear that our team can restore within the time that we're provided. Now, if we are uncertain, our focus is upon managing customer expectations so that they can make alternative arrangements should they need to, if they know that the power is going to be off overnight and into the next day. And also providing information on the support that we can provide. So if customers are unable to make their arrangements themselves, they know how to access that through ourselves in Northern Power Grid.
We set up the Northern Power Grid Foundation in the wake of Storm Arwen, and we've contributed £7.7 million into that charitable foundation to get it set up. And what we're now starting to do is to invite projects. We've been working with the communities that were most severely hit by Storm Arwen and giving them early access to some of those funds. We've already invested £120,000 worth of projects where we're helping those customers deal with either fuel poverty or with community energy resilience. So really trying to help people either in their all year round bills or indeed with giving them support so that they've got a more resilient community hub, for example, such that if a storm hits and we need to get a community set up with warm food or charge their phones or just give them some social contact and help them there, we've got that funding in place and we're putting infrastructure in place to help with the setup of those rest centres.